So, Urvish, talking about leadership, now you've spent a considerable amount of time in the industry, handled teams, managed people. So we'd like to get your bit on, your perspectives on leadership, right?
Okay.
What do you think is the most difficult part of being a leader?
There are many difficulties. However, I would just only name out a couple.
Sure.
One is, once you are declared as a leader, or once if you are there at the position, you have to maintain your reputation. Okay,
True.
you have to maintain your posture.
Right.
And how you build your posture by proving yourself.
Right.
Okay, and how you prove yourself is by motivating your team, getting the required things done. I mean, that's something you do it, or you have to prove yourself as a leader.
Right.
That's one thing I would say. The second piece around the leadership is more on how you are being perceived. Okay, I may be thinking myself about I am a great leader, I am whatever it is, okay, XYZ, but
Right.
how you are perceived. If I am looking at you, Roshan, today, maybe after 5 months, okay, after our conversation, how I perceived you.
Right.
That's very important, to if you want to be there as a leader. So I think these two are broadly, the difficult areas where you.
At being consistent.
Yes, very much. Yeah.
Interesting. What are the most important decisions you make as a leader of your organization?
In the organization, what is expected from you as a leader? Okay, you may be given a lot of tasks by the management, or you may take it on your own.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you cannot keep on lingering, keep on sitting on the task forever.
True.
You cannot keep on saying that, hey, I was pressed in this fiscal year, I will probably do it in the first quarter of the next year. No, right? So what I see as a leadership qualities probably would be a commitment, and the proof of the pudding, saying, yes, I had committed and I had delivered.
True. Very, very, very aptly put. What are a few resources you would recommend to someone looking to gain insight into becoming a better leader?
Okay, there are a couple of things I would recommend, and it has worked very well for me. Is seldom we don't talk to the existing leader in our organization. Okay, fortunately, I had a chance, or most of my friends were 10 years older to me. Okay, right from the college days, all my friends were at least 9 to 10 years older than me.
Right.
The benefit which I got was, they were sharing what they already faced, and I had a knowledge of what is coming for me.
Right.
Okay, say for example, if I was at 18, okay, I had a person of the 28-year-old who probably had a car. Okay, I do not have a car today, but he was sharing his experience that, hey, if you whenever you buy a car, ensure that it is keep on running on the road. Otherwise, you will have more, kind of maintenance and stuff.
Right.
I knew it 10 years before I had a car.
Right.
Right. So connecting back to the subject, what can be the source of learning the leadership quality is talk to the existing leader in your organization.
Right.
Okay. Keep on having a dialogue with them. Maybe casual, maybe professional, whichever way you can, if given a choice. And I have seen personally that it has worked very well for me. So maybe the example which I gave you was a personal example, but again, connecting with the professional characteristic. Maybe today you do not have a team under you.
Right.
Okay, but when you talk to the leader who is already there managing the team of 5 people, from him that what could be the soft issues the teams would face. Maybe the personal issue, maybe the professional issue. Okay, so maybe you can have some wisdom from him, saying that if there is a situation coming, how do you manage it? And that's how the quality of the leader I would define, and I have personally learned. Right. That's one thing as a source of the leadership quality which you learn from. The second source I usually do is to read books. Okay, there are several books. I will obviously not name the very nitty-gritty of the books, but the book which has maybe the biography of somebody. I'm not sure how many of you have read the biography of Sachin Tendulkar, a very beautifully written, right? Or maybe a biography of Michelle Obama, right? Or maybe a biography of Indira Nooyi, which has recently come up. Okay.
Right.
Look at the struggle, the way they have described, and then look at the way how they've overcome. Okay,
Right.
and maybe you connect with your situation there in your organization. Maybe there may be here and there a little bit, but if you have some wisdom, if you have some knowledge of which you have read already, it will be easy for you to correlate, and that's how you will deal with the situation. So that's the two sources. It's worked very well for me. And
True. Interesting. how do you encourage creative thinking within your team or within your organization?
Okay, so for creative thinking, Roshan, it is very important that you build a competition, a healthy competition, I would say. Okay, maybe within a team member, within the cross-functional. Okay, example, you want to implement some solution which is going to touch on the end users. Okay, maybe you want to run the information security awareness session. Okay, the virtual classroom session, or maybe the physical classroom session. It will always be a good idea to speak to somebody in the cross-functional. Maybe talk to somebody in marketing, maybe somebody talk to in the finance, maybe somebody talk to in HR. Ask their point of view. Always think that, how differently it can be done. You have XYZ point of view, but according to you, what do you think? You listen to all of them, and then probably whatever fits in your bill, you implement it. So that's something, the creative thinking I encourage, to talk to multiple people. Talking is only not helping you to get the ideas. Talking will also help you to build the interpersonal skills. Okay, you know what the business language which he is putting the problem to you. Okay, you may be very expert in IT, but what is the point if you are not able to understand it and putting it in the business terms, right? You cannot talk in IT language with the CFO, right? He would not understand it, and he would probably kick you out.
Right.
Okay. So that's one thing on the creative thinking. The second creative thinking is have the healthy competition within the team. You give the task to the team member which is the most difficult for them. Okay. Especially the young leaders. Why? Because they will have all the ways and means, to come out of the situation. And this generation is very fast, let me tell you. Okay, I recollect one example that I wanted to know something about blockchain. Okay, and I gave an assignment to one of the trainees to give me some knowledge about the blockchain.
Right.
I'm talking about the example of 3 years back. Okay, it was very new concept, and obviously I don't wanted to go through the pages. So what I told her that you give me a 1-pager which has a gist of the blockchain as a technology. Within 4 days. She gave me a beautiful article with a pointer saying this is what the blockchain is, and it was so easy for me to understand. Right, so this is how you create the creative thinking.
And in the bargain, even that person learned all about blockchain.
Exactly. So exactly.
True. Interesting. What is your secret sauce, Urvish?
So it is my intellectual property. I hope
I won't steal it.
Yeah, so for me, I mean, jokes apart, so for me, what has worked or what is the secret sauce for me, I would define as, the health habits. Okay. I spend at least 2 hours for myself. Okay, I get up at 3:30 in the morning, I go for a run, I run at least for 10 kilometers a day. Okay, and what I strongly believe is your healthy body will give you the healthy mind. Okay,
sure.
If you are energized in the morning itself, you can deliver the lot of good outcome when you are there in the office. So that has worked very well for me. The health habits, the discipline, it's something which I strongly recommend. Whatever you do, okay, do it consistently. Okay, if see, I have a liberty to sleep for a couple of hours more on the weekends, but I would not do it. Right, so I mean that is what the discipline which I would always gain.
So Urvish, what advice would you give somebody who is going into a leadership position?
See, my in-law was always mentioning that advice should not be given for free. But still, yeah. But still, what I would recommend rather is if you want to become a leader, express your empathy. Okay, that's and having and considering in this current difficult times, empathy is something people are looking for. Your team members are looking forward to. If somebody may have a genuine problem that to take the parents to the hospital for a blood test or whatever, it is okay. Even if it is your work which you had committed, probably it's not getting delivered by end of the day, it is fine. Okay, try and understand from the person what is the thing which stopped the work to be delivered, right? So that's empathy is something I would recommend. Trusting the team member is also something one should do. And the third thing I always say is aim for big. Okay, don't restrict your thought process to only the short-term solution. Right, think for the larger picture, and also understand the business language, business terms.
Okay, going back to the previous question, you mentioned you wake up at 3:30 in the morning. What time do you hit bed?
9:30.
Wow, and that's 6 hours. That's 6-7 hours.
That's pretty enough. And you know, the way in which we have discipline as a family. Even my 9-year-old son goes for the bed at 9:30. Yes, and this is what a habit we have cultivated since years.
Right. 3:30 is normally the time when people are at the most
Dream time.
intense time of their sleep, and that's the time you wake up.
Yeah, I understand.
Interesting, Urvish. Thank you so much. I'm going to try getting up at 3:30 once and see how it works out for me.
If you want me to call you and wake you up,
I'm not sure I might answer. So, okay, we'd like to know a little more about you, right? My questions, one-word answers is probably what we're looking at, or the best that you can do.
okay.
One thing you love about your job?
The power.
The power. Okay.
I have a power to take the decisions on my own.
And which have an impact on the organization.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So I have to be very careful on what I'm taking the decisions on.
Absolutely. Your favorite destination you've traveled to?
Budapest.
Budapest. Okay. Favorite food?
Mom's made any vegetable sabzi. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm assuming you're a vegetarian?
I am vegetarian.
Okay. A book that probably inspired you the most?
Ikigai. It's a Japanese book, a very thin book, but it is really a good book.
A lot of takeaways in that book. Absolutely. Your role model?
My mother.
What do you splurge on?
Self-learning.
Self-learning.
I continue to invest in certification. I continue to invest in learning a little more, so that the technology landscape is changing.
That's interesting. What was your very first salary, if you remember?
1,200 rupees.
Okay. And this was how
15
long?
years back.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Was that a lot of money back then?
Not really, because I didn't know what to do of those money. So.
Okay. Okay. Any one thing left to do?
Travel the world.
Travel the world. Okay. I'm sure you're halfway there.
Yes, I've been to about 15 countries so far.
Wow. Interesting. One love.
Travel.
Yeah. Travel. Okay. So you are the outgoing more.
Yes, very much.
Okay. If not for the InfoSec professional that you are, what would you have been?
An Air Force pilot. Yeah, because in the initial career days of mine, I was at the Air Force Station. I was responsible for establishing the VoIP connectivity, and I've seen the thrill. You have Sukhoi 30 MKI flying on the runway, making noise, and you look at the posture of the pilots, look at the personality of pilots. Yes, I would have been a pilot if given.
It's a different life altogether.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in fact, I still remember the quote written on the back glass of one of the pilot's car was, "I drive slow because my other vehicle flies."
Interesting. All right, moving on to the next section. I give you two choices. You have to select one.
Okay.
Right? Twitter or Instagram?
Twitter.
Okay. LinkedIn or Facebook?
LinkedIn.
Cricket, football?
Cricket.
Physics, chemistry?
Chemistry.
Movies or music?
Music.
Okay. Weights or cardio?
Cardio.
I think I could have answered that. Books or Kindle?
Books.
Okay. Early morning, late night? Again.
Early morning.
Early morning. iOS or Android?
Android.
Okay. Formals or casuals?
Formal.
All right. Thank you again. Moving on to the last bit of this section. We'd like to know how you were as a person at different stages of your life, right? So think of Urvish when he was 18 years old.
Bindas, careless.
Bindas and careless. Okay. And by the time he touched 25?
Responsible.
And by then 30?
Very responsible.
Okay. Interesting. Well, Urvish, thank you so much for sharing all of this. I think it's been a really good conversation.
My pleasure, Roshan.
Thank you so much.
All the best. Thank you.
Thanks.